All right, I have a proportion test. How do I know it's a proportion test? Because I see 0.7, which is a proportion, and P for proportion. So this is the alternative. So we basically have a hypothesis test that said something equals 0.7 for the null, and the alternative is 0.7. They did a hypothesis test and they came up with this test statistic 2.36. It says identify the hypothesis test. Well, I know it's a right tail because of the greater than, so it would be right tail. And then it says find the p-value. Well, I always use StatCrunch, and if it doesn't have that option to bring up StatCrunch because I really don't like reading the tables. You can read the tables, and I'll show you how to do that as well, but I prefer StatCrunch. I guess let's go ahead and look at the table first. I'm going to go to table 2. And the only reason why is because I know that a z-value of 2 is greater than 0, so it has to be on this side. So I'm looking down this column for a 2.36. I think I'm in the right column still. 2.36. So I can't even hardly do this row. So 2.3. And then across 6, I get 0.9909, but that's the area to the left, so you'd have to do 1 minus that value. Or you log into StatCrunch, you can just go to the app, you can do your normal login. I want to do calculators, and calculators and a normal, because a z distribution is a normal. My mean of 0 standardized, because that's what the table is doing. My standard deviation of 1. I want my z-value, this is greater than, and I put my z-value in here, 2.36, and I compute, and isn't this the same thing as the 1 minus the 0.9901 thing that we saw in the table? And so I would get 0.009. And I can see on part C, I'm comparing this to the alpha level of significance of 0.10. The p-value is less than that value. When the p-value is less than the level of significance, you reject. So I know I'm going to reject the null, that there is evidence to support the claim is greater than 0.7. Okay, so I know I'm going to reject the null, and so if this is their claim, then there is sufficient evidence, being the alternative hypothesis, to actually support this because I rejected the null. Remember that the null is always equal, so the null would state that the proportion equals 0.7.